The 911 operator heard breathing on the other end, heavy, panicked. Then a whisper so quiet she almost didn't catch it. "He's in the house, and he knows I'm calling you." The line went dead. When police arrived 12 minutes later, they found something that still haunts that dispatcher to this day. What you're about to hear are 3 real 911 calls that were never fully explained. No arrests were made, no closure was given. These calls remained open cases, and the people involved were never seen again. On March 14th, 2019, at 2:47 a.m., a 911 dispatcher in rural Oregon received a call that would change her life forever. The dispatcher, whose name has been kept confidential for her own safety, answered the call like any other, but instead of panic, instead of screaming, all she heard was breathing. She stayed on the line. "It's protocol. You never hang up first." "911, what's your emergency?" she asked again. More breathing. Then a whisper. "He's in the house." The dispatcher felt her blood run cold. The voice was female, young, terrified. "Ma'am, who's in the house? Are you in danger?" Another long pause. The dispatcher could hear something in the background. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, like someone was walking through the house, searching. Then the woman whispered again, barely audible. "He knows I'm calling you." The dispatcher immediately began pinging the cell phone's location. It came back to a farmhouse about 40 miles outside of Salem. She dispatched 2 units immediately. But here's where it gets disturbing. The woman on the phone started describing what she was seeing. "He's in the hallway now," she whispered. "I can see his shadow under the door. He's just standing there." The dispatcher tried to keep her calm. She said, "Help is on the way. Stay quiet. Stay hidden. Do not let him know where you are." "I can't," the woman whispered back. "He already knows." Then the dispatcher heard something that made her skin crawl. Knocking. 3 slow knocks on a door. "He's knocking on my door," the woman said, her voice breaking. "Why is he knocking? He knows I'm in here. Why would he knock?" The dispatcher could hear the terror in her voice. "Don't answer it. Police are 7 minutes away. Just stay quiet." 3 more knocks. Slower this time. Then the woman said something that didn't make any sense. He's saying my name. But that's impossible. I never told him my name." The dispatcher's heart was pounding. "What do you mean? Who is this person?" "I don't know him," she whispered, crying now. "I've never seen him before tonight, but he knows my name. He keeps saying it, over and over." The knocking stopped. Then the dispatcher heard the worst sound she'd ever heard in her 10 years on the job. A door slowly creaking open. "No, no, no, no!" The woman's whisper turned into a scream. The dispatcher's heart was pounding. She said, "What do you mean? Who is this person?" The woman whispered, crying now. "I don't know him. He's never seen me before tonight, but he knows my name. He keeps saying it over and over." The knocking stopped. Then the dispatcher heard the worst sound she'd ever heard in her 10 years on the job. A door, slowly creaking open. "No, no, 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 no!" The woman's whisper turned into a scream. Then the line went dead. Police arrived at the farmhouse 11 minutes after the call started. When they got there, the front door was wide open. Every light in the house was on, but there was no one inside.
No sign of a struggle, no blood, no evidence of forced entry. The doors and windows were all locked from the inside, except for the front door. But here's the part that keeps investigators up at night. They ran the phone's records. The call to 911 lasted 11 minutes and 43 seconds. But when they checked the phone itself, there was no record of any outgoing call that night. The phone's call log was completely empty. The woman who made the call? Her name was Sarah Mitchell, 26 years old, lived alone, worked as a teacher at a nearby elementary school. She's been missing ever since. No body has ever been found, no witnesses, no suspects. Just that one 911 call and a muddy footprint in an empty house.
In the fall of 2017, a 911 dispatcher in northern Minnesota received a call that still doesn't make sense. It came in at 11:38 p.m. on a Tuesday night. The dispatcher answered and immediately heard chaos. A man's voice, out of breath, panicked. "We need help. We're lost in the woods and something's following us." "Sir, I need you to stay calm. Do you have a phone with GPS?" Yes, hold on." Then the dispatcher heard something that made her pause, a sound in the distance, through the phone, deep in the woods. It sounded like a child laughing. "Did you hear that?" The man whispered, his voice shaking. "Hear what?" the dispatcher asked. "That laughing. There's a kid out here." The dispatcher could hear the woman in the background now, her voice rising. "There's no kid out here, Jason. We're in the middle of nowhere." "I heard it," the man insisted. "Someone's out here." The dispatcher tried to redirect. "Sir, I'm pinging your location now. I need you to stay where you are. Don't move. Help is coming." But the man wasn't listening anymore. The dispatcher could hear him calling out, "Hello? Is someone there? Are you lost too?" Then the woman screamed. "What's wrong?" the dispatcher demanded. "What's happening?" "Oh my God, there's someone standing between the trees, just standing there, watching us." "Describe them," the dispatcher said, already sending units to the GPS coordinates. I can't. It's too dark." "But they're not moving. They're just staring at us." The second man's voice came through now, shaking. "Dude, we need to go. We need to go right now." Then the child's laughter came again, closer this time. But here's the thing that disturbed the dispatcher the most. The laughter wasn't coming from the figure in the trees. It was coming from all around them. "There's more than one," the man whispered. "Oh God, there's more than one." Then the dispatcher heard running, branches snapping, heavy breathing. The three hikers were running through the woods, the phone still connected. "Don't hang up," the dispatcher yelled. "Stay on the line. Help is almost there." The running continued for almost 2 full minutes. Then suddenly, silence. "Hello? Sir? Can you hear me?" Nothing. Then, after a long pause, the man's voice came back, but it was different now. Calmer. Too calm. He said, "We're okay. We found the trail." "You did? That's great," the dispatcher said, relieved. "Where are you now?" "We're heading back to the car. Thank you for your help." Something felt odd in the dispatcher. His voice was flat, emotionless. "Sir, I still have units en route to your location. They'll meet you." "That won't be necessary," the man interrupted. "We're fine. We're almost to the parking lot." Then he hung up. The police units reached the GPS coordinates 20 minutes later. They found a hiking trail exactly where the coordinates said it would be. But they also found something else. 3 cell phones, lined up in a perfect row,
in the middle of the trail. All 3 had dead batteries. All 3 had been wiped clean. No fingerprints, no dirt, no damage. Just 3 phones sitting in the middle of the woods. A search team spent 5 days combing the area. They never found the 3 hikers. Their car was still in the parking lot, keys in the ignition, wallets and IDs inside. But Jason Hartley, Emma Thompson, and Marcus Reed have never been seen or heard from since that phone call. The park rangers have a theory they don't like to talk about. There is no cell service in that part of the woods, not a single bar. They tested it. So how did that 911 call last for over 8 minutes? This last story is the one that scares me the most. Because unlike the others, this one happened to the dispatcher herself. In 2021, a 911 dispatcher in Georgia received a hang-up call at 3:17 a.m. This happens all the time. Pocket dials, kids playing with phones, drunk calls. Standard procedure is to call back. So she did. The phone rang. Once. Twice. Then someone answered. But they didn't say anything. This is 911 dispatch calling back. We received a call from this number. Is everything okay? Breathing. Heavy. Labored. Sir or ma'am, is everything all right? Do you need help? Then a voice, male, low, barely above a whisper. Why did you call me? The dispatcher paused. You called 911, sir. I'm calling back to make sure everything's okay. Long silence. Then, I didn't call anyone. Well, we received a call from this number at 3:17 a.m. Is this your phone? Another pause. What's your name? The man asked. The dispatcher felt a chill run down her spine. That's not a normal question. Sir, I need to know if you're in danger. Do you need police, fire, or medical? I asked you a question, the man said, his voice getting quieter. What is your name? The dispatcher hung up immediately and flagged the call. Something was wrong. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. 30 seconds later, her personal cell phone rang. Her personal phone, the number she gives to friends and family, the number that's not listed anywhere public. She stared at it, her hands shaking. The caller ID showed the same number, the number she had just called back. She didn't answer. The phone rang 3 more times that night, each time the same number. She reported it to her supervisor, who contacted the police. They tried to trace the number. It didn't exist. It wasn't a real phone number. It wasn't in any database. It wasn't assigned to any carrier. The police told her it was probably a spoofing software, someone messing with her, playing a prank. But then they pulled the recording of the original 911 call, the hang-up call that started it all. There was no hang-up. When they listened to the recording, there was silence for 10 seconds. Then that same male voice whispered something. The audio team had to enhance it, clean it up, isolate the frequencies. When they finally made out what he said, the dispatcher quit her job the next day. The voice on the original 911 call, the one that came before she called back, whispered, "Tell Rachel I'm waiting for her." Rachel was the dispatcher's name. The police investigated for 3 months. They never found who made that call. They never found how he got her personal number. They never found an explanation. Rachel moved to a different state, changed her number, and hasn't worked as a dispatcher since. And as far as I know, She's never received another call. But sometimes, late at night, she still checks her phone, just in case. These 3 911 calls remain unsolved. 3 mysteries that have no answers, just questions. And somewhere out there, someone knows what really happened. If you have information about these cases, please contact your local authorities. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. I post new horror content every week. And remember, the next time your phone rings at 3 a.m., you might want to think twice before answering.